Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast podcast. I'm your host, of course, the SuperTechGod, aka Ken, and we're here with a special, wonderful co-host for today. Yes, you know, the top 5 best snappers had some family things he had to handle, so we reached out to the wonderful, the only, the best admin mod of the official Marvel Snap Discord, the one and only Gozz. Gozz, welcome on in, buddy. How are you?
Good. How about yourself? Hello.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to come and hang out with us. And of course, our other co-host, that one that sacks a lot, Mr. Epic Sax Party himself.
Yeah, that sacks a lot is now how we're migrating it. Like, fine, that guy, he really sacks is great. Okay,
That's
well,
right.
hi everyone, it's Gets Gaming here. How y'all doing? God, I need a better intro.
Yeah.
I say that every week, and I'll never get a good one. So that's, you know what, that's okay. But
we could figure out something. Maybe we'll call you the person that lost to the infinite enjoyer with the hella deck. How about that?
fair. I'll have you take on my new clog deck next.
There we go. All right, guys. So yes, we have a great show for you guys. We're going to talk about some awesome things. But first, I want you guys to know who is this wonderful guest with us today. And of course, his name is Gozz. Like I said, he is the admin over at the official Marvel Snap Discord. Gozz, let people know a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Gozz. As he said, I'm the Discord community admin. Essentially, what that means is that I created and run the official Marvel Snap Discord, whether that be through creating the moderation team, the rules, the guidelines, the events we do every month. I pretty much just, help be the branch between the community, the moderation team, and Second Dinner, and just essentially just run that nice little community. And that's the best way I could say it.
That is awesome. We definitely enjoy and respect and everything you do. We appreciate it to the max. Let people know a little bit about, your take on Second Dinner, Snap, getting involved and being, of course, one of the admins. I mean, one of the first ones. Real quickly, my interaction first with Gozz was, wow, back in October of 2022, right before the official launch. I applied to be a part of the creator program and didn't hear back. So I, just quickly reached out to Gozz, explained to him, sending over my wonderful socials. And in a couple minutes, he goes, "Welcome to the Green Check Crew." That was my best interaction with Gozz back in October 2022. So
that works.
That was awesome. That was a great time.
Yeah, before there was like a real official team that looked over the content creators and stuff. When Snap was like first in beta and first starting out, I took it upon myself to just go into the Twitch category for Marvel Snap and just whoever was streaming just start reaching out and being like, "Hey, we have a Discord, you should come in and I can like get you a check mark and hooked up so we can get you shown." Like even back before Eggs was even in the she goes by Eggs now, right? Just Eggs?
Yeah.
Eggs, yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Before she was even in the Discord, I just joined her Twitch chat and I was like, "Hey, like what's up? I see you have viewers, you want to come into the Discord." And she started like tearing up on stream a little bit. And this was like all before the content creator program was a thing. So even though it wasn't officially a thing, I still wanted to take it upon myself because from doing past community Discords, there wasn't really like a verified or official source you had to go through. You would just do it on a case-by-case basis based on whatever like your moderation or admin team was. And so because Second Dinner or Newverse didn't have anything like that set up yet, I just wanted to reach out for everyone and start pulling them in and start showing them like, "Hey, the Discord's growing. I see that you're creating content. Like, let's get you a check mark, get you some visibility, and start trying to get more eyes on whatever you're doing out there."
Tell us a little bit more about that background too, because you said, other communities as well. Like, how did you get to where you are in the Marvel Snap world? Obviously, you've been brought in to handle this specifically. So what'd you do beforehand? What are the games that not only you may have moderated and been on that end of it, but, as a gamer as well, like, dive us a little bit into the game side prior to the world of Marvel Snap.
Yeah, so if we want to go way back, I guess my moderation technically started with Minecraft. I started making Minecraft servers when I was about 13 or 14 years old. And through that, I started meeting a lot of people and was actually able to start creating servers and communities. And actually, as I was 13 years old, start, not that it's very much connected, but start pulling in like 3 to 4 figure summaries as a teenage kid by making these communities. And after that,
Nice.
The Minecraft kind of died down a bit. I had to focus on high school and eventually college. So I stopped doing more so video game moderation, but I did have time to do more form-based moderation like Reddit And so I started doing these posts on the Hearthstone subreddit. They were called the daily card discussions. And I think I did about 500 or 600 of them in a row. And about halfway through that, they opened up the Hearthstone subreddit moderator applications. And I was like, okay, I'll apply. And eventually I applied. I joined the Hearthstone moderation team. And that was right when Discord was first taking off. So we made a Discord. We started getting people from the subreddit into the Discord. And from there, I got the Hearthstone Discord partnered. And we were one of the biggest servers of all time on Discord at that time, just because it was a very small platform. And during this, I was talking to like the CFO of Discord was in my DMs, the CEO himself, and we were just kind of bouncing back like ideas and future feedback. And we don't really have that connection anymore. Of course, Discord is 10 years older now, and they're incredibly massive. But through doing the Hearthstone Discord, I would also do events, and eventually we got to the point where we had a connection with Blizzard through the subreddit and the Discord, to where I also got to reveal a Hearthstone legendary card called Shifter Xeris. I got to reveal that way back in the day for Hearthstone. After a while, I did step down from Hearthstone, mostly due to personal and mental reasons. I've been moderating for such a long time now. I just wanted to take a break from the internet, kind of do my own thing, hang out with my friends, just play games.
We all need grass
That's
every
huge.
now and then. That's fair.
That is huge. Yes. Yeah.
Eventually, I wanted to get back into it, so I did a few smaller projects that I got partnered. Like the Apex Legends console Discord was another one I got pretty big. I partnered it. This is the shirt from that. And
Nice.
then I
Awesome.
was kind of like bored of the game of Apex Legends, so I just gave it to my head mod. I was like, it's your server now. You can be the partner. I got my shirt. I'm happy. We also did the Overwatch console Discord. We got that one partnered as well. But this mostly comes back to the Hearthstone Discord, getting that partnered, and of course having that connection with Blizzard, which at the time, Ben Brode was the lead game designer of Hearthstone, and Molly was the senior community manager of Hearthstone as well. So after those two Discords, I took about a couple more months off, and then finally, on my birthday, May 19th, Marvel Snap was announced. I was home at the time. I was like, I'm going to make a Discord for this. I've been following Second Dinner ever since Ben Brode created it when he left Hearthstone. And I wanted to make a Discord for these people because all these people that left Blizzard to go to Second Dinner are people I interacted with and knew. I met Ben Brode and Molly at BlizzCon. You know, they were awesome people.
Yeah.
Yang Wu is a phenomenal guy too. You know, there was, I won't get too much into it, but I went out to BlizzCon twice as a member of the media because of the Discord and the subreddit. Me and the head moderator of the subreddit, whose name is Kathleen, who is I'm super grateful to her because, you know, she would pick me to go to BlizzCon and meet all these people. She really saw my potential and effort in putting in way more effort into these Discords than a lot of people did with doing monthly events and doing all these things that you could do on a subreddit, but it's a lot better to do live and in a live chat kind of setting. But going back to Hearthstone and Blizzard, I really liked Ben Brode, Molly, Yongwu, all these people that left Blizzard to form Second Dinner. So like I said, when they made the announcement for the game, I instantly made the subreddit, or I'm sorry, not the subreddit, the Discord server, and started trying to get that populated. Eventually, Newverse reached out to me, and they were like, hey, we heard your name from some of the people on Second Dinner that worked with you in the past, and we were wondering if you wanted to come on and help us with our official Discord server, because we like the layout of yours a bit better than the one we set up. And I said, absolutely, sure, I'll come over and help out. So we made the new server. We transferred everyone from the beta server over to the new one. We kind of got that all built up. It wasn't until maybe 4 or 5, maybe half a year into doing this, that it wasn't a volunteer gig. That's when I actually became contracted by Newverse to actually start running it officially. But yeah, it all started off pretty much just doing a lot of volunteer work, a lot of moderation for the games that I like playing, which were back then Hearthstone, and making these connections with these awesome developers like Ben Brode or community managers like Molly. And if, you know, years later, those kind of things can come back and unexpectedly be that next step in your career, or be absolutely amazing. And it's a phenomenal relationship. I love working with Second Dinner, and I love working with Newverse. At least, you know, everyone that I talk to they're incredibly friendly. They care more than you, or I shouldn't say that. They care a lot though. They really do care about everything that's happening in this game and everything that gets said they know and they're reading it and they're taking all that in. And even when, funnily enough, because I don't consider myself officially as, you know, second dinner or Newverse, because I'm a contracted player mostly. Even when I give them my feedback and it's real feedback, I know there's always like the I'll be self-aware, like the stigmatism that, like, you know, Discord mods are shills or whatever. But even when I'm brutal with my feedback, you know, they're taking that in and they're listening. And the times where things are bad and the times where things are good, it's all really interesting to see, you know, how they react, and they are taking all that in. I know I just went on a little bit of a tangent there, but
no, of course not.
Oh, you're good, man.
yeah, it's
interesting,
awesome.
and people like to hear this kind of stuff. That's why
Yeah,
I was like, this is background stuff that I like. Me as a player, not as a creator. As a player, I like hearing like the journey of how a lot of this happened. Because I mean, unlike Tech, I came in later. I came in right after global launch. I was not a beta player, so seeing, or I should say, hearing that journey come directly from literally the person who like spearheaded it on something that is literally a part of my daily it's always up on my monitor while I'm live or I'm doing it's such an integral part of something that I do every day. To me, it's at least very interesting. I think the community likes hearing that kind of stuff too.
Correct. I totally agree. I never heard the story, so it was awesome to hear it, and definitely love to hear the journey and everything that went through it. I mean, people who hear this now can actually understand. I mean, most people know you as who you are based on what they see in Discord, but now to actually hear the story behind it, I think that's huge. So thank you for that. That's amazing. Yeah. Great. Love that.
Yeah, no problem.
We definitely have some other things we want to talk about, especially when it comes to community. So, you know, as you are the admin, and you just gave that wonderful breakdown of how you got there in that position, which we totally appreciate. As a community member, not like a content creator, as a member of the community, what are some of the things that you can share with us to make us even a better community member?
I think a lot of it comes down to, and it's going to start off sounding generic, but I'm going to expand on it. It really is listening and being respectful. And to more expand on that, it's there's a lasting impression that users can leave in the Discord, even if they're there for just a short amount of time or a long amount of time, your usual users or your new ones. And it's generally how they interact with the community around them themselves, and not more so how they interact with like the moderation team or anything like that, but how are they chatting with one another? There's a lot of times where you can join the Discord and see arguments are going on. And a lot of the time, they're on the fine side, right? People are generally respectful and they're caring for each other's opinions, and they're, you know, talking their side of the story or whatever it is. And it's nice to kind of build a rapport on the users that you have in your Discord. But I guess what I'm trying to get to is that a lot of it comes down to just being consistent and being not necessarily overly kind or overly respectful or overly all these things, but just don't be disrespectful. Don't be rude to other people's opinions. Don't argue just for the sake of arguing is another thing. It's the best way I like to say it is that treat Discord like a public setting. Treat it like you're going to a park. Treat it like you're going to a store or a restaurant. Are you going to say these things that you would in a restaurant or a park or something like that? Because in the grand scheme of things, this Discord is just a public space. Anybody can get a link and join the Discord. Of course, you know, people can get banned or removed or whatever, but anyone has the privilege to just join the Discord whenever they want and interact with the community in whatever way they want to. And we've had people that have been here since beta, you know, since the server came online of May 21 of 2022, that have been here without any infractions or nothing like that, because they come in here. And even when there's bad updates like Nexus events or way back when there was
you said the bad word.
Tokens, you said
the bad word.
Listen, I'm still one that I enjoyed it. So go ahead, continue.
No, you're fine. It got me. It's like the most money I put in Snap was Nexus events, and I walked away with the Destroyer variant though, and I was like, all right, maybe not. I spent $50 for the variant.
You're really barking up the wrong tree on this podcast. You do realize that,
no,
right?
Listen.
Have you seen that man's collection? Okay.
We got to keep all the resources. That's the reason why I wasn't. I mean, listen, that's how I got the variant, the collection that I have, was be able to keep those resources. But sorry, back to why people should be good, for sure.
Like I said, there's people that have been in the server for 2 years that don't have an infraction or anything like that. Because even when something bad happens, like I said, those prior events, they're going to come into the feedback threads and properly explain what they don't like or what they disagree with, and that's totally fine. People are allowed to be upset and angry as long as they're not being attacking or disrespectful. And like I said, those two terms, are pretty general. But like I said, treat it like a public space. I don't think anyone would, like, say, go anywhere in the park or a restaurant and go up to the chef and say these obscene things that we have to automate out and automatically delete and ban and things like that. Just be consistent, be kind, be respectful to others, even if you disagree with them. It's really like not to sound demeaning, but like what we learned back in pre-K, kindergarten.
Yeah,
treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah,
and
I think a big part of it too. I'm going to spin on that too, because it's something that I know I personally practice, like in my own like live streams and in my Discord channel, is there is a huge difference between debating and arguing, and understanding that difference can completely change the context of how other people read your conversation, because everything gets misinterpreted via text. It's impossible to get perfect inflection of what you're trying to say. I went through that today, literally, with a creator. Inflection is incredibly important, and you lose a lot of that via text. So understanding that it is a public space, if you're going to have a conversation, be elaborate, not just like, you're wrong. Okay, make a conversation, make it a back and forth, make it a worthwhile moment, because if you're going to be active in the Discord, having a conversation with something that, sure, you might disagree, that's completely okay. But if you don't know, as weird as it sounds, if you don't know how to disagree, I think that speaks volumes as well, because you need to be able to have the tools as a human, yet alone as a linguist, to be able to say via text, this is my thought. Here's why. Here's why I don't agree with your thought and my counterpoint. Now, your turn to talk. Like, it's just, it's a whole other social skill that I don't think is ever really truly taught, but it is one that we do constantly see, in a negative way via YouTube comments and Discord threads and Reddits and subreddits. Like, messages never get sent across the same way. And I think if people remember that if they read their own message through somebody else's voice, would it sound the same? So before you send out a message, try to be thinking about it through somebody else's voice.
It's actually pretty funny, just to say on that, is one of the things my friends make fun of me for, is that when I'm typing a message in Discord, whether it to be to anyone important or one of you guys or whatever. Well, you guys are important. I don't know why I said it like that.
We're not important. That's official. It's official. They don't consider us important anymore. Rant on Reddit. Mods hate me.
Like, generally when I'm typing, is that like I'm kind of humming it at the same time to get an idea of the tone and the pitch of how I'm saying it.
Right.
And you said it very well. I have a trouble explaining it, but you got it right on the money, right? It's also comes down to, there's a fine line in that same kind of argument or debate where it goes on for too long. It goes on for too long, and people don't want to move on or admit or agree to disagree or anything like that.
I must be right and prove you wrong. Like,
yeah. And it's not like a debate in the fact that somebody's trying to actually change someone's opinion. It's the fact that you have a different opinion, so I'm just going to argue with you because you do. I'm not going to let you change your mind. I'm not going to try to change your mind either. And that's like one of those other things you look out for with that, like, respect and kindness to members. With our consistent members, it's like those people don't do that. If they understand if someone's going to disagree, they're going to move on and be like, cool, you disagree, that's fine. I gave my point, you gave yours. That's kind of the end of that. And like I said, with the users that have been here for 2 years, a year longer, even like a few months, the newer guys as well, they understand that. And that's what it all comes down to, right? It's how you have a conversation and debate with someone in real life, person to person. Just treat it the same way online as well. And I know that's a tough ask, but internet, being anonymous on the internet does generally sway things in the more difficult direction when we're doing online, but try to just do your best.
It's true.
Correct. And in short, guys, don't be internet thugs, okay? That's what I call them when people send emails all raunchy. And when I see them, they're quiet. Don't do that. Don't be an email and keyboard and
Who
internet
is
thug.
sending
No.
you raunchy emails?
I'm telling you, the way people talk sometimes and they see me and
Oh,
then
yeah.
everybody's all at peace. But I get it. You know, like you said, being anonymous, it's easier to say craziness or fight and argue in your
Absolutely.
messaging, right?
I'm more-
But back to what you,
One thing I'll
What would
like
you
even
more what?
relied on for like a lot of the moderators, even some of my own, including myself, is like based on certain decisions that we made to change rules for the better. I know we had controversy like real quick, but there's one super popular post on Reddit about us changing the feedback forms rules because we wanted to try without doing the upvote and downvote reaction.
Right.
We thought they weren't
Yeah.
really providing much use, and that we see differently now. You know, we originally thought the feedback would be the text inside of that post, right? Like if you wanted to agree or disagree, you would type out why you agree or disagree instead of just hitting upvote or downvote and leaving. You know, we were like, that's a little low effort. We want a bit of high quality feedback. Of course, now we do have the upvote because people wanted that. So we were like, okay, fine, you know, you can have it. But yeah, like moderators, myself, and everywhere across the internet, you know, Tech is right. Like I've gotten death threats. I've gotten, you know, my
See?
address
It's madness.
doxed to me. I've gotten numerous threats. I've like even going through ban appeals a couple days ago, there was like this one guy who's joined on the server with, you know, let's just say like 60, 70 alt accounts because he, you know, he got banned once and now he wants to keep coming back in. It is what it is. But even like his ban appeal messages are more death threats to specific mods and things like that, you know. The mask of, you know, being anonymous really does give
Yeah.
people
The
a lot of
worst.
leeway to
Yeah.
just say whatever they want to say. And,
Yeah.
you know, being a creator like you guys, or you know, I'm just an admin of one server, right? Like I'm not getting the outreach that you guys are. You, I just don't see the benefit of why people would do that, especially like we have faces, we are people, we're here, and these people do just reach out and they want to scare moderators or admins of subreddits or discords because they got muted for a day or they got banned for saying something they should have. And I won't talk too much longer on it, but just to, you know, put it out there, to get banned on our server, the Marvel Snap one, it's hard. It is not an easy task. So, of course, we have, you know, appeal forms. So if you do think you got unjustifiedly banned, you can appeal, and we unban people every single week that we're like, okay, they either apologize or like, oh yeah, okay, I totally did something wrong. You're right. Like, can I come back in? We're like, absolutely. You're like, you understood? Come back in. And then, like I said, we get those mix of people that they don't want to appeal. They're just trying to threaten the mod teams. And it's like, the mod teams are all community volunteers, right? They do this on their free time. And to go against yet again another like stereotype, these guys and girls on the team are in their 30s, 40s. They have families. They're all adults. They have lives. Like, we have a couple people that are aspiring to even internship at Second Dinner, you know, because why not? We have a few, you know, of the
Right.
younger people, but most of
Yeah.
us, we all have families. And it's like, I could not imagine anyone going to someone face to face and saying those things. To
They
someone.
wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't
But
do it.
yeah,
That's,
you know,
that's my point.
It's wild hearing about it because I mean, we all deal with, especially as creators, we deal with our own trolls. We see it, we watch it, we read it simultaneously. We go looking at unban requests is always interesting. Without going into too much detail on those, sometimes they can be really, really interesting because you, unfortunately, you get the best and the worst of people in that moment. You get the, oh, I'm so sorry, or you get the, let me elaborate further on why you actually correctly
Right.
probably banned me. And it's a tough part as a community member to know that that kind of stuff has to get filtered out. But it's more important that I think people just take from this conversation that there's a way to be a constructive community member as well, rather than just being a blank slate or a negative slate for it. There is a way to build a better Discord based on how you interact within it, or Reddit, or whatever kind of social media group, you know, Facebook group or whatever you use as a group on that. I think that's the core that I want people to really take from this
Understand.
part of the conversation, because you know who else is really a killer?
Yeah.
Arana, the newest card here to come into Marvel Snap. Segue, go
Oh,
on
my
in there,
goodness.
Tech.
Yes. So Arana came out this week. Arana. Make sure I say that correctly. And going into it, we definitely had some takes on it. Our preview on the card. We definitely gave it around a gold kind of gold or double gold. We felt this card was okay, or silver. It could do what it's supposed to do and move. And I'm going to break down our rating system to you right now, guys. So the way we do things, one, of course, is plastic. Right. Number two is silver.
The lowest. Because Tech does his numbers weird. He thinks 1 is the lowest on rankings. It's like, no, you'd be number 1. The lowest rank is like credit card. It's plastic. It's just,
right. So think about that. The second is, the next level up is silver. The next level up after that is gold. The one after that is platinum. And the best, of course, is diamond. So we gave this card definitely around a silver and gold. And when she came out, I think I still feel the same way. I think she is definitely a silver card. She works great in move. Let's say she doesn't, but I mean, she's best. I like her more so in decks with that doesn't do move, more so like Galactus or Black Panther, being able to move Panther into another lane, and then you using Symbiote to reactivate them, and then Zola when your opponent thinks that you're going to do everything in that middle lane is the most fun ever. So I really enjoy Arana in that type of a list. Now, I did put in a move list. I did have 80% win rate with her after about 12 games, and that move list was fun. But the reason why it was fun is because we were running Elektra, and Elektra was just destroying people's Phoenix forces that were Human Torches, or destroying other people's Aranyas before they can activate. So I think that's the most fun I had with her. So yeah, I'm definitely keep her in that gold range. Guess, how do you feel about Aranya?
I mean, she's a 1/1 who gives +2s and moves. And the perk of being able to use her as an activate, I found that was probably her biggest strength. It's not the fact that it has the move. That's just, it happens to be good for move specifically. And the little package, the little movers package, Aranya, Ghost Spider, Dagger, et cetera, with and without Human Torch. Either way, that ends up working really, really well, in my opinion. I do like her in that little mini package, and I've been doing some tinkering and testing, and I ran an Aranya deck today. It was Aranya and Clog. I ran 40 games with it, and it ran a 70-something% win rate in 40 games. Like, it was climbing like hell. And this was all post the featured location as well. I was very, very happy with her performance in enabling that. But outside of that, I found myself using her always, like, activating. If I wasn't doing the move package, it's always just activate on something random on turn 6. And that extra +2, I think, is very, very slept on, because you could do it on turn 5 or turn 6 just to make sure, depending on the type of deck that you're going up against. But I liked clogging over on the right-hand side and then activating later, so that way it wasn't going to move over in the middle lane. Like, there was a lot of cool things I could do with it. I'm going to leave it at a solid gold, because it's still a 1/1. I think if she was a 1/2, she'd be a really, really, really good card. But at 1/1, you always feel a little bad playing her because of her positioning in there. You need a way to really scale somebody else big in that same lane, or you need a way to get rid of her, to occupy it another way, whether it's a Carnage and you're doing like the Deadpool deck, or you're doing, just huge numbers with the move deck and just put in a giant 20-something power dagger by the end of the game in that same lane. Like, you have to go about it that way, but it does take time to use her best, I will say. She's a good solid gold card. Gozz, how has your experiences been with Aranya so far?
Well, first things first, I am not an infinite tier player, so my experience is a little different. I generally chill in like the 50s and 60s.
That's fine.
I'm like a bounty and alliance grinder. But one of my favorite decks is actually just kind of basic standard Deadpool destroy. You throw in Deadpool, you throw in Death, and I did put Ariana in there, and it's actually pretty fun. So getting able to get a Deadpool start off at 3 power right off the rip, not having to rely on Hulkbuster or any kind of location to get us started is actually not bad, because after that first destroy, it's already coming back up at 6 power. And sadly, the Taskmaster nerf hurt my deck a little bit, but it still played fairly well after I took Taskmaster out and just more so focused on making a giant Nulls and Deadpools, or doing like a Deadpool and Death Drop. I also played around a little bit in just a really basic 1-cost Khazar Zoo deck with like Blue Marvel. And at least where the levels I'm sitting at, not too much Killmonger is getting played at the moment. So you were actually able to get these one-cost cards to fill up a location and get those locations at a solid 20-25 power without too much work, with just being able to stack your blue marbles, getting your Ariana buffs and your other buffs from your other one-drops as well. If you get lucky, Nico Minoru for the good Demon 6 power one-drop as well. It works out, but you're definitely relying a bit on drawing Khazar and then drawing into your blue marble, and then if you can get lucky into your onslaught, just stack that one location and all your one drops are on the other two. I don't have any like win rates, but I will say playing with the card has been pretty fun. I don't think it's anything revolutionary or anything mind-blowing. I think it's also fun in when I was playing it for bounties in my move deck. It definitely moved the progress along as well. Yeah, I think it's just an average solid card. Somewhere around silver.
Okay, there you go. Love it. Listen, that we all agree. I think we're on the same page on that. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But wait, hold on. I will say, I now, from now on, just because of you and the way that you pronounce it, you call her Ariana.
I knew it. I knew I was going to do this too.
100%. But now, from here on out on my stream and in content, she will forever now be known as Arana Grande. Because every time you said Arana, as Ariana, I was like, oh my God, Arana Grande. This is perfect.
What,
so congratulations. You inspired that.
What's up?
We want to hear something funny? That is the name of my list that I made 2 nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. If you go on Twitter right now, I posted it 2 nights ago.
I'm in Brazil. What's Twitter? I don't know what that is, man.
Yeah, okay. X, whatever you want to call it. Oh, that's right. You don't have access anymore, but yes.
I don't have access. Yeah.
Yes. That is the name of the list. Arana Grande. So that's pretty funny.
That's
that he
awesome.
Pronounced it.
I didn't even know that. I swear to God. Like,
yes.
God, I didn't know.
I know. Of course, you don't watch my content, so it's okay. It's totally fine.
Absolutely not. I don't like you.
So it's totally fine. But yeah, we all agree on the card. So if you guys got those tokens and you want to save up those keys, you could definitely do that this week. Now we're on to next week's card, which I think I called it the diamond card of the month. And of course, that is Scarlet Spider. I still think Scarlet Spider is going to be a great card. I'm keeping it in the diamond. I do like the ability of making copies. We can do some amazing things to that card and copying it. I'm pumped. I give it a diamond. We're going to start with Gozz. How do you feel? What's your preview about Scarlet Spider?
I feel detached. I was actually like looking at this card prior to this, and I couldn't think of much crazy, at least in my brain, to do with it. I was thinking maybe like Shuri or something.
Yeah. Most people, yeah.
I knew back in the day it used to summon like a textless version of itself before being a duplicate. And I was like, well, that'd be cool for Patriot. I love Patriot, but it doesn't do that, I think, anymore. It copies the text as well. So I'm actually like interested to hear, you're ranking a diamond. I just couldn't think of anything beyond, like I said, like Shuri or something like that. Like what makes, I get it's like, what is it, 5 power for a total of, or 5 mana for 10 power, 5 energy. Right. Sorry, I play a lot of Magic.
Yes.
I call it mana just as often every now and then, but it depends. Yeah, right. It's a 4 cost for 5 power, but then the other 4/5 appears at a random second location when you choose to activate that card.
Right.
Where would you rank it? You seem like you're on the like gold to silver, not plastic, but like you seem like you're somewhere in that range.
I would put it, I think it's going to be slightly better than the card I'm going to mispronounce again, Ariana. I would put it in, I would put it in gold. I think gold, but I would love to hear like
why I'm thinking. So
what you think,
okay.
Same thing. I'm thinking about buffing the card, probably Zoloing it, and then activate it afterwards, right? So we got 2 copies of the Scarlet Spider on the field. Activate both, or activate it after it comes back from Zola, and then we get some copies on the board. Yes, it's going to be in different locations, but we can also think about putting it in a deck with Tribunal if we need to, right? And cards like that. So I'm thinking more on that level of course, buffing the card as powerful as we can, making a copy of it, and then utilizing it to either, like I said, spread it across the board with Zola, or, of course, use Tribunal. That's where my head is at with the card list.
That makes a lot more sense. I wasn't thinking about Tribunal.
And you're probably okay in not thinking about Tribunal. I think that's probably a downgrade for Tribunal, because Tribunal's trying to build a combo. Honestly, Tribunal's trying to build a lane combo to make its big ramp ability if you're specifically aiming on Tribunal to make it happen. I am excited to see you run that list because, as I said in the beginning of the month, this is my lowest card of the season. Very similar to how Gozz feels, where it's like, I can't see the vision with this card to say, okay, here's a good comparison. We have now an analysis of Symbiote Spider-Man. And Symbiote Spider-Man has to go down on turn 4, maybe turn 5 if you get everything to kind of sort of work depending on the ability that you're trying to absorb, right? It is clunky to play down because you have a very narrow window to get it down to do its thing, yet alone to try to do something else with it. So whether you're trying to do, if you do the Shuri thing, for example, which is the best combo I can think of so far, is Shuri into Scarlet Spider, and then on turn 6, you activate that now 10 power Scarlet Spider to have a second one somewhere else. That's what I see with the deck right now, and I haven't sat down and thought too much further on other major synergies, but as of right now, that seems to be the front runner, in my opinion, on how to maximize the ability. And if that's the maximum, I'm just playing Shuri Red Skull over that any day of the week, because I'm building a 28 power thing on turn 4 into, turn 5, and then taskmastering that on turn 6. And that's more power than me doing the Shuri thing on Scarlet Spider. And that's dramatically different.
If you don't get Shang-Chi, then no, you're absolutely right. I think the Red Skull Shuri might be powerful, but think about that, right? Arana, Shuri, that card, move it to the right, Zola activate, and then we get a bunch of
Zola,
copies of
now
Scarlet,
you're playing,
right?
now you have to play either Ravonna Red Slayer, you have to play Magic, you have to have other accelerants.
Turn 6. Why? Turn 6.
So you're going to
Shuri 4, Scarlet on 5 with Arana, move it to the right, Zola 6.
See, I wonder how that activate's going to work, though.
Yeah, that's the thing I want to know, too. Will it then, we need to activate before or after Zola?
Exactly.
Because we can't do it after. You're right.
Yeah, if you have to then hit that activate, because I don't think, here's the thing, though. I hate to rain on your parade about it. I don't think it'll work like that because of how Zola's text works, where it destroys that specific one and then creates 2 copies. So because those copies have not been activated, I don't think it's going to work the way that you want it to.
Well, it will activate first, make the copy, then you Zola that one card. So, yes, you're right. I won't be able to Zola it and then activate both unless I'm playing it early, unless it's a turn 7.
Right.
So I'm with you.
But again, to that same point, all of this that we're theorizing with Zola, in my opinion, we're working too hard for not enough gain versus Zola Nimrod. So Zola Nimrod, Shuri Red Skull, I think they're just, much cleaner play lines or much simpler play lines. I am not that high on this card, and a lot of people are like saying that, like you, this is the diamond card of the month. I would love to be wrong, but I think we're a little bit in what we'll call War Machine syndrome. Original War Machine, not current. Original War Machine syndrome, where we were super excited for this card, and then it just completely underperformed our expectations. And I'm not on that train. And I really hope I'm wrong, but to me, this is the lowest card of the month. I think that this is a silver.
Okay. Listen, I'm with you guys. You felt the same way about Sage too. So, it's all right.
I did.
It's okay.
I did.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're wrong. It happens.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, we definitely got to get in our hands and see what's going on. We got to see what really happens with this card. Because, this activate. A lot of things I'm thinking about might not work or it might work. We'll find out. But okay, totally get that. You guys both on the same page around the silver. I'm definitely going to give it to diamond and see what kind of cooks we can make happen. Now, of course, speaking of which, Hellcow received an activate this week along with, I always forget her name? Black Swan.
There you go.
Black Swan.
There's a reason you forget her name, because no one still uses her successfully.
That is the truth.
Everyone's like, oh my God, this enabled Hella. This is fantastic. And then, there's hey, Black Swan, how you doing over there? You good?
Black Swan.
All right, anyway.
It's no love.
Hellcow.
It's no love. So going into it, we played, like I said, Arana that night.
Yeah.
So we said, let's build a Hellcow deck. We built a Hellcow deck, hit the play button. Who we match up with, of course, it's Gets Gaming. It was a great time, great match. You guys definitely check out the VOD between me and Guess, so we'll probably make a video. It was a great matchup. But the first time being able to activate Hellcow felt very good. A lot of people are saying it's OP, and I don't think it's OP per se, but it is definitely helping the Hella meta a whole lot. I mean, listen, guys, we could have gotten Modok at Activate, and I think that would have just destroyed everything. So the fact that we have Hellcow at Activate and it got a little decrease in its power, I think is not bad. I think it's really good. It basically eliminates the use of Invisible Woman in this case, the way I look at it. But I'm not going to lie, it is doing very well. A lot of people have used it to go on Infinite. A lot of people have been using it to win a lot of games and conquests. But I want to hear your guys' take on it. And also, did you guys feel it overshadowed? Well, we know it overshadowed Black Swan, but did it overshadow Arana? We'll let Gozz go first. Gozz is our guest. Gozz, how do you feel about it? Is it OP?
Yeah.
And it's OP.
I've seen more Hella than I've ever seen in my life at my current rank. I'm not necessarily going to say that's going to make, Hellcow OP. I think Activate is still just super new, uncharted territory for this game. I mean, we've been playing Snap, some of us, for 2 years or almost close to that now, and we've never had control of ability like Activate. On Reveal is, of course, fairly close, but that's same turn activation, and that's it. You have to drop that mana now, and you have to use that ability right then.
Right.
Having control of these effects in a game where a lot of the game has RNG and random elements to it, having deterministic checks in place now, those cards that have them are going to be usually, at least now, because there's such a small amount of them, very strong. I think if we were even a year or two in the future and Activate was more widely printed, we might look back now and be like, Hellcow wasn't even that much of an issue compared to the things we're dealing with now. And that's not knowing anything about the cards that are coming out, but it's such a new mechanic. Right. It's like a brand new keyword being introduced, like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone. And with Snap, we literally only had 2 keywords before that, ongoing and on reveal. But yeah, at my rank, Hell has been insane. I don't think it's being played nearly as well as most people think they're playing it, at least not down here. I see a lot of misplays with the activation of Hellcow. I've tried it a little bit for discard bounties for my alliance, and it was pretty fun being able to kind of literally determine the 2 cards you were going to discard right before you Hella, and you could just hold 2 giants there and not they might know if they play the game at a higher level or something like that, but a lot of players, when we get these patches and OTAs, they're not adjusting to it nearly as quickly as like the Discord and YouTube audiences. So down here, yeah, it's being played a lot. I'm not going to be saying it's being played super effectively, but Hellcow for sure is definitely one of the biggest determining factors in why it's popping off. Just because Activate is such a strong ability, excluding Swan right now. Activate has, like I said, just insane potential, and I think Hellcow is literally just the start of that potential.
Oh boy. Guess, what's your take?
I do think, kind of leaning on the second half of your question, I do think that Hellcow is the card of the week. It's not Arana. I think that Hellcow's influence on reintroducing Hella to the meta in such a prominent way. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they decided to bring this card like harshly down to like 4/4 because of how you use the card. It's enabling a hell of a lot, no pun intended, kind of, sort of. I just think that the ability to open up discard again with this type of RNG is dangerous for Marvel Snap, because as we saw with Arishem, who's kind of gotten neutralized a little bit over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When the meta is focused around too much randomness, it doesn't feel good as a player. It is inconsistent because the game wants to be about strategy. And then instead, you're just saying, I have 5 turns of strategy and then just roll the dice on turn 6 and hope for the best. And you can't interact with that at all. That's one of the worst things about it, is there's no way for you to interact with that. And I think the fact that it's a 4-cost card also is a huge part to it. That could be a way that they address it in the future, is actually by making it a 5 cost. I wouldn't be surprised, because then you could potentially have a counter for it. Because right now there really isn't a counter for Hellcow. The only counter I could think of was if they delayed their Hellcow and you played Supergiant. At 4 cost, it's a hit or a miss.
Right.
You might get it, you might not if you end up in that matchup. I wanted to play Supergiant as like an attempt to counter it. The only thing that counters it right now is Clog. You have to fill their board before they fill their board. And Clog is not fun to play against. And that's coming from someone who spent the entire day today climbing with Clog. Because I know it's a toxic deck. I know it's an awful deck. But I climbed 17,000 ranks. That's nothing. Like, that's I stopped after a couple of hours. Like, I could have probably kept climbing more. It's not a fun meta when Clog, Hela, Arishem, these kinds of decks are very prominent in the meta. And Hellcow getting the change that it did with 2 cards at this cost and power with Activate, I think they overshot with Hellcow, and we end up seeing one of 2 things happen in the future. Hellcow discards 1 card, or Hellcow gets heavily stat adjusted in some capacity. But it is definitely overtaking the importance versus the release of Arana, in my opinion. Hellcow was probably a platinum card release this week.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, great statement. I totally agree. Both of you guys, with everything you had to say about Hellcow. And yeah, I mean, listen, we got to see what happens in the future. And I totally agree with you on that, guys. We're talking about Hellcow now. Wait until other Activate cards come out in the future. We're going to be like, can we get the Hellcow back, please? And I agree. Arana did not get the love she deserved because she had to follow the Hela meta. And yeah, I mean, there's cards like even Red Guardian, right? That can counter Hellcow right now, but
if
it's tough.
The lowest, it's a 6 power card. How often is Hellcow the only 6 power, the lowest cost card in the lane?
Lowest card in the lane. Yeah, it's tough. This is tough.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, if you guys want to get to Infinite, go ahead and play some Hellcow Hela. Unless you see
guests, don't encourage them.
Wait, can I go Infinite finally? Can I do it?
Yeah,
just
you
Hellcow?
can.
Wait, finally? You've never hit Infinite yet?
I hit 97 in season 0, and that's the highest I got.
What?
Well, it looks like we need to have a Gozz stream of getting Gozz to Infinite. We have to have this journey together now. We will bring you in. We will work with you. We will make it happen.
We have to do it, Gozz. Yes.
Don't laugh at the collection. But I was gonna say, it definitely overshadowed real quick before we passed on that. Just even looking at Discord metrics and the comments on there, it was Hellcow week. Ariana had her little feature topic and her dedicated post to her, and there was a few comments in there. But the general conversation in the popular general chat or even the competitive chat, it was Hellcow, it was Discard, it was Hela, and it seems like at least on the common community census is that Hellcow is the issue. I'm sure SD can tweak a lot of things that aren't Hellcow to achieve some form of balance. I'm not going to say I'm not a balancer. I have no idea what the best route is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure if even just doing a power nerf is enough, because I think at this point you're really not playing Hellcow for its stat line, even though it is solid. It's not terrible, it's not great, but it's just the effects. Being able to discard 2 whenever you want, it's incredibly powerful in any kind of discard deck right now.
There's 3 dials on it that are easily adjustable. There's the cost, there's the power, and there's the amount of cards that it discards. I would not be surprised if they went down the route of adjusting it to 1 card that it discards and then messed with the cost and power in some other capacity. They could even, I could see Hellcow being a 3-cost discard card that discards 1 card, but because it's an activate, it justifies itself at like 3-4, 3-5. Like I could see that.
I like the 5 cost though. I think make it a 5 cost, still discard 2 cards.
5 cost with 2.
Yeah, I think it's still better. I think it's still good. I think it puts in a good position. Now you have to make a decision between that or MODOK, or like you said, Supergiant can stop it. I think that's better, right? Because now at least, I mean, honestly, even though we're playing Hellcow early, we're not using it until turn 6. So being able to have to wait until turn 5 to play it, because right now on turn 5, what are we playing, guys? We're playing stuff like Jubilee, right? We're playing stuff that we want to actually come on the board because we're not worried about our Hellcow doing anything. So making that the turn 5 play that you have to make a decision on, I think that alone should probably solve the problem somewhat, I think.
You've
at
got
that
me.
point, because even just go, yeah.
No, you've got me thinking now as you say that, because now I'm like, the Hello deck I want to build when you do that, which is something that they're probably having to think about if they work on it. Say they bring it to a 5-cost card, right? That whether it be 1 card, discard, 2 card, discard, doesn't matter. They bring it to a 5-cost card. Okay, now I have an on curve turn 4 Silver Samurai to guarantee my Iron Man being a discard. And is that
it will be a bigger
an
problem.
improvement or not?
Yeah.
Because then you've got this beautiful curve built in there all of a sudden. You've got Luke Cage on 3. You've got Silver Samurai on 4. Discard the Iron Man. You've got Hellcow on 5. And then activate the Hellcow and then Hella on 6.
Hella 6. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot, Blade, Colleen Wing, there's a bunch of other things along the line there too. So I don't know if that's
gonna solve that problem. It's gonna make it worse.
Enough, quote unquote. It's tough one.
I think 1 discard might be a good starting point at least. I think I said a little earlier, like it's gonna be. I could honestly imagine Hellcow having a difficult balance cycle trying to get it right, just because, like I said, the freshness of the mechanic. But having 2 I think going down to 1 might be a good play, because you were right that having a nice curve with it being at 5 still is an absolutely insane play at the end of the game. But only being able to drop 1, especially if you were going to put out 5 costs, because then it directly competes with MODOK. Drop down the cost, maybe make it discard 1, bring down the stats a little bit. Like I think you had a good idea with the 3/4 discard 1, something along that line. See how that plays out.
Yeah, because competing against MODOK in that very specific 5-cost. Try and discard a bunch. Like if you're choosing between a 5-cost version that discards 2 cards versus MODOK, you're almost always choosing the Hellcow still, because you want the consistency to say that I can keep Hella in my hand. You're going to take that sacrifice every time. Anyway, so I think then it opens up, man, it opens up then another play line at the same. It's a tough call, but if I had to adjust Hellcow, but what am I? I'm just a content creator. If I had to adjust it, I'd probably go with the 3/4 discards 1 card on an activate. That would be the direction I'd probably go. Maybe 3/5 because Lady Sif is 3/5 also. But either one of those 2, that would be the direction I would go versus a 4-cost or a 5-cost variation.
All right, that makes sense. You guys heard it here first. There we go. We got to get it nerfed to a 3/5 and discard only 1 card on activate. Now, the question really becomes, that 1 card really makes a difference? I guess it does. If you're discarding just the Giganto and not the Giganto and the Infinite, man, I'm with you.
Because now you're off curve with your Lady Sif and Death. You're then debating, do you want to play Silver Samurai? Do you want to try to do the risky MODOK build simultaneously with it too? There's a couple of different directions. And with only 1 card, it's a guaranteed activate discard synergy with Hella on turn 6. Because I don't know about you, but I don't see any other decks where Hellcow's really been truly effective. Like we see them trying to implement it into APOC decks, and I don't see it anywhere close to as effective versus Hella, which is just crazy. Yeah, MODOK just goes better. So it's just 10 times better. Yeah, it's just 10 times better for that. Yeah. So in the Hella deck, that's where Hellcow belongs, and therefore I think it needs to be adjusted for that deck in particular.
Agreed. All right. Now, guys, like Gozz has been saying, people have been playing this game for about 2 years. Now, we're coming up on a 2-year celebration in October. There are some wants I'm sure people would like to hear. So, guess we'll start with you. What are your 2-year celebration wants for Marvel Snap?
I want 1 thing for the community and 1 thing for myself.
Okay.
And both things are the same thing. I want to host a Conquerors event for the 2-year celebration.
I like that.
The community gets a Conquerors event that they can gamble and get a variant that Tech won't get. I get to host.
I mean, at this point, they might as well. What haven't you done for Marvel Snap? You were the guy who introduced. Oh wait, I'm drawing a blank now. I had a whole speech.
Deadpool's Diner and Blink and all the fun stuff. Yeah.
Deadpool's Diner.
Yo, Tech and I, we got on the socials today as well because they were. We got featured in the social media scene, if you will, because they were at SnapCon. And they took all that content and they put it into a nice package and they sent it out today. And that was really cool to be a part of and help them kind of like plan it out and question it out and get everybody together. And that,
I absolutely got to go out to the next one. I've been wanting to go. I really haven't.
Dude, you got to poke Felicity, be like, hey, next one, let me know. I'll be there. And she'll be like, okay, she'll get you there. Don't worry.
There we go.
It's awesome. It's so much fun. But that's what I want. I want a big community event. It doesn't have to be Conquerors, but it has to be some kind of big event on a live stream that's advertised and said, hey, listen, we're celebrating. We've been around for 2 years. Here's season passes for the community. Here's a credit code. Here's a login calendar. Here's just make it a big thing, because I feel like they missed the opportunity last year because all we got, in my opinion, was like, okay, it's cheaper to buy gold. And that hurt comparatively. Like I think it was like a $5 bundle that was like a crazy value. But it was like, respectfully, for the community who's been here for 2 years, we don't want a 90% discount. We want a 100% discount on something key, something magical, it's still Disney. Make it fucking magical, make it a big moment. And they have the people, they have the power, they have the resources, they have the ability, they have the technology, just do it. And I'm curious to see what they do with the 2-year, because I just want a big event to celebrate it as a community.
I love it. I love that one. That's huge. That's fantastic. Guys,
you can co-host. You can co-host, Tech.
I can co-host.
Yeah.
Me? Oh man,
you and I,
a crazy event.
That'd be we'd have so much fun.
That would be
that would be so much fun.
You know what? Guys, you heard it here first. Let's get guests and STG to do a community event for the 2-year anniversary. It'll be a good time. It'll be a blast.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Guys, how do you feel? What would you want for the 2-year celebration?
As a player, a lot, right? There's a lot I would want. I mean, 2 years is a long time. There's a lot that's already cooking in the pipeline based on the roadmap that we haven't hit just yet, just based on like the concept phase. I'm not looking for anything like that to come out. I mean, to be fair, I'm most stoked about whatever they cook out of draft mode. I know that'd be a crazy ask to get something like that. But if we're looking more towards unexpectedness or a little bit more of a surprise, I remember when Marvel Snap was first announced and they dropped like that really cool anime-esque, like 2.5-minute music video. I think it was like called Believe or something like that. I can't remember the name.
Was it Hero? No, that was later.
Hero. Oh,
no, Hero was later.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Was Hero right later? Okay, my bad.
Hero was with the Black Panther, the Storm, the Sarah.
Yeah,
that was Hero. That was later. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was
Believe.
I think you're right.
Believe sounds familiar. Yeah.
I would love to see something like that come back. They haven't done any of the really cool extended animations like that. And those things, to me, especially seeing how much effort goes into making those kind of animations, I actually have the a keyframe of one of the original printings of that animation on my wall right now.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And those are labors of love, right? They don't really get much out of making those. Like an advertisement, a generic advertisement is going to do better than a random music video that you might not even at the end of the day associate back with Marvel Snap. You're just like, this is a Marvel music video. And it was really cool to see the animation come together from that. Same with guests. I mean, I'm a big fan of watching Conquerors. I finally convinced them to let me moderate their Twitch chat for their Marvel Snap Twitch and everything. So I think we've seen it before. It is what it is, but I'm there to make it better now. And I think it'd be awesome to get a Conquerors back, have it on that channel as well, get more eyes on. I mean, the developer tournament was awesome. I stuck around for that, and I try to get the word out for that as much as I can.
I appreciate that a lot, man. That was really cool. You reached out. It was like, hey, do you have graphics we can put in the Discord? I want people to see this for the devs. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, you were a huge supporter with that as well. And I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, I'm definitely more on the side of community celebration. I mean, the first year had the variant voting for like Human Torch or Shang-Chi, or I forget what the third option was.
Ghost Rider.
There you go, Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
I think everyone forgot who the third option was.
Nobody
wanted the cop Ghost Rider.
The cop.
I wanted the face. I wanted the zoomed in Human Torch.
Yeah. Didn't that win? No, Shang-Chi won.
It did.
Yeah. It did?
No, I thought Shang-Chi won.
No, Shang-Chi was in the shop.
Terrible.
Shang-Chi was in the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
I made a short about it. I remember.
Don't cite me on anything in this podcast. Apparently, I'm on. But no, yeah, some sort of community event. I said Conquers would be really cool. I'd want to do something on the Discord. Obviously, I think we did something last year. We gave out some stuff. I'd want to do it again. I think they can do Twitch drops again. I know they did them last year with the other drop. They had the exclusive variant come with the Twitch drops at that. But I think they could do a little more. The $5 1,000 gold bundle, I mean, it's nice. I'm not a big bundle buyer, but I do get the little ones, especially because they're not, the most common thing anymore. But I think for me, like on the player perspective, I'm really looking for something to shift in the gameplay a little bit. You know what I mean? Even if it's like an imbalance patch. We haven't had an imbalance patch in a while. I think you can do something really fun with like doing an imbalance patch where you just revert nerf everything back to beta. Like give us +2 Nova.
We just had that conversation.
I've been asking for this. And
awesome.
I said the same thing, and Gozz was like, no.
People
won't like it.
If we bring back a 3-cost Devil Dino, people will lose their minds.
Yes, please.
Just for a little bit. Just like for a dash. A dash of beta,
24 hours. I'd be so happy.
Just do something fun and crazy, right? I don't know what else to think of it. I think like everybody has good suggestions here. I think there's a limit on how much we can realistically expect.
Right.
Like honestly, I'm expecting year one kind of repeated, maybe a little bit thrown on extra. But I would love to see something cool happen out of it. And, I might be pushing on my end as well for something cool to happen, because when I want things to happen, I usually bother the people that can make those things happen and hope.
That's how you have to do it. Yeah.
That's right. That's how you got to do it.
You take a stick and be like, hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Remember me?
I have an idea.
Yes.
Hey, you got to do it. You got to do it sometimes. I hear you.
And I agree with you both. I would love to have a huge celebration for Marvel Snap. I think the game is great, and I want it to continue growing. I want it to continue to be here for a long time, and I think they need to show that they feel the same way with a huge celebration, whether it be giving away stuff to the community, giving away stuff to the players. Of course, I'm sure we're going to get some of the same things from last year, where we get a new 2-year card back, or like you said, some nice cheap bundles, etc. But on top of that, I think an event will be huge. I think a community-driven event or anything to show the community that, hey, we've been doing this for 2 years. Here's all the things, like you said, a video would be awesome. Here's all the cool things we've done in the past 2 years, whether it be a compilation of, Ben Brode's videos of, the dev videos, or whether it be something cool to kind of show or allow us to purchase, right? Whether it be like a variant art book of things like the board, the stage, going widescreen to vertical, and all their plans that they had building the game all the way up to now. Well, that'd be something awesome that they can do, which I think to celebrate the 2-year journey of Marvel Snap. And I'm looking forward to something that huge to give back to the community and be, make us feel like, this is awesome. This is what they want to do. This is how they want to celebrate it. So that's basically my wants for the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, man. It's going to be exciting in some capacity.
Yeah.
I don't know what capacity, but it's in some capacity. It will be exciting, because I don't think they're going to sleep on it. I think they are going to, make something happen.
Yeah.
I just love to have you and me involved in it. That's all, poke.
That'd be, listen, Gozz, it will be,
poke,
oh my goodness. It's going to be a
poke.
movie. It will be a movie. Oh my God. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, man.
But Gozz, thank you for taking the time to be on the show. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your insight on everything. That was awesome. Really enjoy your time here. Hope we can get you back again for some more episodes in the future. And Gozz, as always, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you, having a good time. Everybody, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.